Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys our panels here, and we're going to be talking about some of the additional steps we had to do to pass inspection here. So on our first attempt, we were missing a bonding piece here. We're going over that bonding piece, as well as some additional things that the inspector told us to do here at this farm to energize it. So basically everything else is perfect. We're just missing a little bonding piece. And some stickers we got to put on the panels, label the panels. That's about it for the inspection. So we're talking about all those things in this video. So if you think that's interesting, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, go to cryptollc.org. If you want to set up a GPU or ASIC mining farm, we can build you a mining farm such as this one here. This container is kind of our storage container for now until we pass inspection. Then we start building out the racks and setting the miners. The miners are already in our possession. You got 250 of those ready to go here. As soon as we pass inspection, we can start loading them up. Now, not in this container. It's going to be on the container across from me. We're going to be loading in that one first. This is going to be kind of our storage container for now until we actually have all the miners come in and we can start loading up this one as well. Before we get started, Bitcoin saves your wealth and Jesus Christ saves your soul. All right, so today's video, talking about our inspector here. So he came in yesterday, and we were missing a bonding piece. So how this works is we have these 4-aught cables coming from the transformer. This is a 400 amp breaker, each one of these, and it's its own service, meaning that it has direct connection to the transformer. It's not going through a gear. It's a direct connection from the transformer. So when I touch this cable here, I touch the copper, I touch this, I'm actually touching the transformer. I'm touching directly the transformer. It's going directly there. It's not on, obviously, but that gives you an idea of that there is no gear. This is basically it right here. We have neutrals coming in, and then because they're doing parallel runs, you get 2 neutrals, 2A, 2B, 2C, and so on. This neutral bar here is then grounded. It's grounded by running a ground 6-gauge copper all the way across the panel. It goes outside, and then it goes into a rod outside that goes into the ground. So that's for faults at the breaker. If something happens and so on, it can send that energy down to the ground. Then we needed a bonding adapter here, bonding connection. So what bonding is we're going to be grounding it not only at the ground outside, but the panel itself is going to be grounded. So we're grounding the panel itself. And to do that, you're going to be running a 1-aught. By code, it has to be a 1-aught cable directly connected to the back of the panel, and that would be your bonding adapter. So we were missing that bonding adapter. We were running this ground here, this ground connection. We were actually connecting it to the neutral, but that was not good enough, even though it makes no sense because this is just a grounding connection. We were grounding it using this guy over here, but whatever. Inspector says, hey, I want it this way, then we do it that way. Anyway, so that's how we're bonding it here. Now we already bonded all the panels here. You can see they're all bonded. And what we're going to be doing is, we already bonded all of them. What we're going to be doing is we have to redo a little bit of the outside rod. So I'll go over there here in a couple minutes, and I'll show you guys the other additional bit of information or change that we need to do to actually pass inspection here for these panels. Before I do that, talking about how we're going to be connecting our PDU. So the PDU is running all phases. It's got a neutral and a ground. So we're going to have one wire going to the neutral. You got a 3-phase breaker here. 1, 2, 3. So it's a 3-phase PDU. So it's going to have 1, 2, 3 from the PDU, neutral, and then a ground. We're going to do all of that. That's how we're going to be connecting our PDUs. You can see like this breaker right here. This is a 20 amp breaker, the single phase, meaning that it's just going to have 240. It's just going to have 240 on this single phase breaker. Those 3-phase breakers is 240, 240, 240, but when you connect them all, it's going to be 416. Not all, but 2 of them, it's going to be 416. So that's how we're running this setup. Now, let me show you guys the other additional bit of information that the inspector told us to change. See a bunch of storage here. Is going to be the grounding rods. So he did make a mistake. He thought the grounding rods were 1/2 inch. They are not 1/2 inch. These are 5/8 grounding rods, you see right here. So when he comes back, I'm going to tell him, hey, actually these are 5/8. We have receipts for these. These are 5/8. These are not 1/2 inch. So that should be fine. Once he verifies that these are 5/8, not ½ inch, then we're good. Then the other additional bit of information was you cannot connect all coppers into one piece right here. This is a one piece. You see how this connection right here is holding some copper. You cannot do that. Each one has to have its own connection. So we had to buy additional pieces, 1, 2, and then that means each panel is coming in. This is one panel coming in on this copper. It connects with its own connection adapter. The second panel, same thing, its own connection adapter. This one's actually connecting the two rods together. You see this rod here. And then this is the third panel, has its own connection. So that's how they wanted to run it. So we ended up changing that out. And same thing over here. I think it should be, yeah, it's completed here. Same thing over here. You see how they have their own adapters for each copper. Same thing over here. There's just two panels there, so you just got additional connectors. And then same thing over here, same thing, right? You see that? This one has 3 panels. So we have 2 and then 3. So yeah. By the way, we finished pulling all our copper. Well, obviously we're not going to call inspection unless we finish pulling the copper, but if you were watching our previous videos, you would see that we ran out of copper, 4/0, but now it's all done. All of these conduits, all these LV bars are all running. They're all set of 4 wires, right? 3 phases and a neutral. All are running that and all have their breakers installed, all have the panels installed. And yeah, everything is solid, ready to go. Oh, by the way, another thing what the inspector told us is, which we are going to call him back and verify because it doesn't sound correct, is when you're running 240 single phase, they require you to run at least 110. And the reason for that 110 is that they say, hey, we want 110 for the refrigerator, stove, and condition, right? Your AC. We don't have a refrigerator. We do not have AC. We won't have an AC. And we do not have a stove, and we will never have a stove. So what is the point of installing a transformer? You buy these little tiny transformers. What's the point of doing that when you were never ever going to have that? So we're going to be contacting the inspector and explain to them the situation. This is not a house. This is a mining facility. We do not have any of those items, so that does not apply to us. And hopefully they agree and they will not make that a requirement. Now, if they still stubbornly, without any common sense, force us to put a small transformer, what we'll need to be doing is we're going to need to have 20 amp single phase, run a conduit, some copper from it, run it down probably to the bottom down there, have our transformer there. That transformer will convert the 240 single phase. It's going to convert it to 110 single phase, and then there you go, which is really, really dumb, but it's probably something that we might have to do. Now, hopefully the inspector has common sense. He's going to realize how silly that is, because we do not need 110. Everything in this container is running at 240. Those lights at top are 240, right? All our miners are 240. Our computer is 240. Everything is 240. There's nothing in this container that's 110. So if it forces us to do that, it's just going to be a waste of money. It's going to be a waste of time. And then as soon as we pass inspection, we're going to remove it anyway. Just going to completely remove it because it's not needed. It is silly. But hopefully that's not going to be an issue. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys like it. You know what to do. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and go to cryptollc.org if you want to set up a farm such as this one for yourself. We can build farms, 1 megawatt, 10 megawatts, 100 megawatts, whatever you want to do. In any state, in any country, we can set up that farm for you. Even if you don't have anything in mind, you just say, hey, I got this amount of money, I want to build a farm. What do you guys recommend? We can recommend for you. We can do the research with you. We can find a perfect state that has great electric rate, that you like that state, you like that piece of property, and then build that farm for you. Just like this property here. This is a property that we recommended to our client to purchase this property and build a farm. That's exactly what he did. He purchased this property about like 8 months ago, I think. It took a while for him to actually pull the trigger on the property. Once he did, we started working on it. And And all of this was built on absolute bare land. It was just land here, just grass and mud. But now we got this farm here going. All right, well, that's gonna be it for this one. Hope you guys like it. Until next time, bye.